11 ways to spot bullshit in the fitness industry. So you just met somebody or you're looking at some information on the internet and you're trying to figure out if it makes any sense, if it's true, and if you should actually listen to that advice. The following 11 ways should help you to get a better understanding of if that person actually knows about what he or she is talking about. So let's dig right in. Reason number one, and by the way, those are not in any particular order, so just keep that in mind. Reason number one is they only have one way to doing things. And that is really bad because if they only have one way, that means they are in a tunnel. They only think this one way, this is the way. For instance, I don't want to hit on anybody, but for instance, paleo. I'm not saying the paleo guys are like that, but let's use paleo as an example. If you have a trainer, for instance, who always gives all the clients a paleo diet or a keto diet or any other diet, always the same diet, always one way, that means he or she doesn't have the knowledge to actually give the client, or you in that case, a good plan and to figure out what's best for you. Only one way doesn't make any sense because everyone is different and everybody needs a different workout plan and nutrition plan. Don't listen to magazines, especially the non-fitness related. The fitness related magazines are oftentimes misleading as well, but everything that is not fitness related, like your average housewife magazine and stuff like that, or even just a normal tabloid press, it's usually totally wrong what they print. They throw out a new article, they want to get readers, they want to maybe just catch you with clickbait, and most of the articles are just badly researched. There's no real reasoning behind it. And if you look at the diets that they recommend, like potato diet or whatever, it's just nonsense. So don't even think about listening to something that you find in your average celebrity magazine or something like that. Next up is everything works. Let's say you are not very fit, you're overweight, you're not healthy, and you're having a really bad diet. And now you start a new diet with your new coach or whatever. You found something on the internet and you do that diet. Chances are you will feel better and you will lose weight. Not because the diet is good in any way, but just because most diets, even the bad ones, give you some sort of calorie restriction and are probably healthier because you will most likely not find a diet, even the bad ones in magazines, that advocate for, say, 10 hamburgers a day. Everyone has a little bit of truth in there at least. So even a bad diet will still give you results. The more important metric though is if you can get results on a constant basis throughout several weeks or months, and if you can sustain the diet and if you feel good. Some people think they have to feel bad when they are dieting. They have to feel like crap when they lose weight and they are in a caloric deficit. Yes, dieting is not easy. It's not the greatest thing in the world. But if you're overweight, you should be easily able to lose body fat without going nuts. So if you don't feel good on your diet, don't stay on it just because it worked for 2 or 3 weeks or you lost some weight. So keep that in mind. Ask why. This is probably the most important point when it comes to talking to people directly. A lot of people will give you advice by giving you facts, but most people that get advice, especially when it comes to nutrition and workout, people don't really question the fact. So if I tell you something, don't just listen to me because that's the fact and that's how it is and I said it. Do your own research if you want to, but immediately if you have somebody who tells you something directly, ask why that's the case. If somebody tells you you have to eat this and that 10 minutes after this or 15 minutes before that, why is that the case? What's the body's reaction to the food in that case? Or why is the body responding this way and not another way? Why has everybody the same reaction? All those kinds of things play a major role in how you structure your diet program as a coach for your client. So if somebody tells you something, ask him or her why that's the case. Why would the body react this way? Why is this fact actually true? And it's not just a fact that somebody somewhere heard, like X increased cholesterol. That's a fact, but it has never been proven. But everybody still repeats this fact. But if you ask why, nobody can tell you because there is no why. So please, if you listen to somebody and he or she is always just giving you facts, advice, without ever explaining anything, okay, maybe he or she just doesn't want you to tell the reasoning behind it because just out of time constraints or whatever. But if you ask why, he or she should be able to answer the question, because our bodies don't do weird stuff just randomly. It's not like I drink water and then I explode. There is a reason why I have to go to the toilet after I drink water. And there's always a reason. Our bodies have a process, they have a path, and they follow those paths. So really ask why. And very closely related to asking why is, does it make sense? Now I know a lot of people are overwhelmed, especially when it comes to nutrition. They don't really know what do I have to eat now? Somebody says this is wrong, this is unhealthy. So people like vegan is good, the other guy says vegan is bad, everything is bad, everything is good. I don't know what to eat anymore. Yeah, I know it can be daunting and overwhelming, but for most of the facts, if you just think about it with common sense, you will notice that a lot of the facts just don't make any sense. Like, if you eat after 6 p.m., you will gain fat. What the hell? How does our body know that it's 6 p.m.? What happens if you get into a plane and fly back in time an hour because of time zones? What happens then? You can eat whatever the hell you want, or you just gain randomly fat, or what happens? Nothing happens. There's no reasoning behind if you eat after 6 p.m. you get fat. It doesn't make any sense. And so do most of the facts people say. I know some of the facts are hard to disprove with just common sense, but still try to just apply common sense a little bit and think, does this make any sense? If you get your car fixed, for instance, and the car costs 20K, and the guy says, oh well, the engine is broken, you need a new engine, that costs 100K. You will be like, the hell, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, how can the engine be more expensive than a new car by 5x? Common sense. Okay? How does somebody look? Now, this is not a 100% relevant point, because somebody can look okay-ish and still has a lot of knowledge, especially older people. Like, a lot of bodybuilders have old trainers because they have a lot of experience and they know a lot of things. But most trainers at age 60 probably don't look like Mr. Olympia, but they still have a lot of knowledge, so you should listen to them. But you shouldn't get diet advice from a very overweight person. If you change your diet and your friend, your very overweight friend, says, oh, that can't be healthy, how does he or she know? So the person has to have at least some credentials in terms of how he or she looks. Somebody should look fit at least to give you advice about nutrition and workout. If somebody wants to show you how to, whatever, do a bench press, it's a guy, for instance, and he benches, for instance, 20 kilos, well, that's not good unless he's, I don't know, 3 feet or something. So he probably has to have a certain amount of strength to actually show you how to do stuff, because otherwise, why would you listen to him? Is it too good to be true? This is related to common sense, but I know people want to lose fat fast. That's one of the most searched terms on Google, but you can't lose it any faster by any secret. There's no, I mean, you can improve your diet and you can make it optimal, but there is a certain limit, and you can't lose more fat than your natural limit is. And just eating nothing doesn't really help. And if somebody actually tries to sell you something, wants to tell you, oh, I have this diet plan and it works, so in 8 weeks you are jacked, you are lean, you are looking like a bodybuilder. You can't do that in 8 weeks unless you already are very, very lean. So if it sounds too good to be true, if I tell you, oh, you just have to click this link somewhere and then you might be a millionaire in 2 days. Well, chances are the only thing that happens is that I will be a millionaire because you clicked something and you got scammed. But if it sounds too good to be true, it is false. It's useless. It's nonsense. You will get scammed. It's just a way for other people to get money out of you. So if it sounds too good to be true, even remotely, it's not true. It's easy as that. Also, take drugs into account, especially when it comes to YouTube. If you have a guy, 100 kilos, 5% body fat, he's either in the end of a really long cut and he's training for 10 plus years, or he's on steroids. And the same thing goes for fat loss. If somebody lost 20 kilos of fat in, say, a month, that's actually possible with drugs, with illegal drugs, with very unhealthy, to the extent that you can die from them, drugs. But as a normal person, you can't do that. It's impossible. So again, it all mixes together, right? Common sense. Is it too good to be true? Drugs. Don't listen to them if they are on drugs. Actually, the same with training. If somebody trains with drugs, he has to train a little bit differently than a natural lifter. So if you see somebody who is super huge and he says, oh, I do like biceps curls, 50 reps, go right ahead and do 50 reps of biceps curls. You will have not any growth at all, or very little. You need to train differently when you're natural. And you also can't expect the same results in terms of fat loss and muscle gain when you're not on drugs. So if you listen to somebody who is clearly on drugs, which is a big part of the YouTube industry, keep in mind that they are on drugs. Don't expect the same results. And if they are not on drugs, keep listening to them if you like to, but keep all the other points in your mind. And the last one is, their way does not equal the best way. Just because somebody got results from his or her way, especially trainers, doesn't mean it's the best way for you. For instance, when you look at some people in the gym, I have people in the gym, if you see them train, you will almost want to cry. But they look good. And actually they have really good genetics, and they could actually almost do whatever they want and they would look good. They would actually look better if they would know what the hell they were doing, but they look good anyway and they look decent, and so their way is good, right? So if I train like an idiot, but I get bigger because I have really good genetics, that doesn't mean you have to train this way. If my diet works for me, but you feel like crap on it, why would you follow my diet? You are a different person. We don't have the same parents, we don't have the same environment, we don't have the same genes. Therefore, my diet is not relatable to your diet. Of course, general stuff is still applicable. So, for instance, eat a lot of veggies, everyone has to do that regardless of genetics. But real specifics to diet and workout, they have to be for you. For instance, I had 3 knee surgeries already. I can't train like somebody who didn't have that, obviously. So just because their way works for them, don't assume it works for you as well. If people look at, for instance, The Rock is awesome, but people search for The Rock diet or The Rock workout. You can't work out like The Rock. You can't eat like The Rock. If you eat like The Rock, the only thing that happens is you will get fat because he burns way more calories than you do. So you can't eat like The Rock. You have to eat like you have to eat. All right, I hope this helps, and not all the ways have to be met and the rules have to be met for somebody to be actually somebody you can listen to, but most of them should be met, especially the one why. They don't have to recite a study out of the back of their head, just to answer your question. But if you ask them why that's the case, why you have to change your diet this way, or why you have to change certain exercise this way, they should have at least a sizable answer that makes common sense. Please let me know if you have further questions in the comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for further videos. See you next time. Bye.